We've got something very special for you, folks.
A groundbreaking new method that involves the floating pole,
Tapping, slapping,
and Lee Kerry.
and it's sure to break some records, isn't it?
Certainly is. He developed it while Match Fishing Live was being filmed. Comes out in a couple of days, couple of weeks, soon.
Couple of days.
And, well, here it is, the first footage of this groundbreaking new method from Lee Kerry.
Right, so on to our weekend's action. Matt, you had a lovely day on Saturday. A little bit wet and windy.
I'll tell you what, Tom.
Yeah, wet and windy, wasn't it, mate?
Something happened this year that's not happened for a very long time.
And what was that?
I got blown off.
No!
Honestly, the wind was absolutely terrible.
Was it really?
Yeah, I went to Furzton Lake with a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Mr. Ricky Marshall.
Ah, young Ricky, yes.
Together we both got blown off.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
yes.
Talk us through what happened.
We went for a day. I went on a feature there the other week with Michael Buckwalder. He caught some lovely big roach. It were awesome, and I thought I've got to go and have a little go at that.
Yes.
So I rang Ricky and said, "Do you fancy going somewhere a bit special while these roach are feeding?"
Yes.
And he says, "Yeah." So we come down and we went to Furzton, and it were a night. The wind were in our face, luckily.
Yeah.
If it were across us, we wouldn't have been able to fish at all. We fished a pole and both fished a slider, and I didn't catch a lot, to be honest.
No.
But I had a lovely day out with my mate. Caught a few roach, some nice ones, but Ricky caught some lovely fish.
Did he?
You know, yeah,
Some real quality fish.
3 or 4 over £1, and one were massive. It must have been close to £2. Lovely fish, lovely few hours fishing. We tried a few little things, had a nice day out, and made a nice change to good pleasure fishing, really. You know.
I saw the fish. It looked absolutely. I mean, that big roach you caught looked absolutely pristine.
Stunning, innit?
Absolutely lovely. Absolutely
big
gorgeous.
lake, middle of Milton Keynes. Probably don't get fished by general course anglers that much. Just a lot of carp anglers there.
Yeah.
And I got a little video where Ricky enjoyed himself. Here he is.
Lovely day at Furzton. We'll get these back.
So that's my day Saturday, Thomas. How was your day?
My day was very, very nice, but it wasn't spent on the bank. It was spent in the living room of my mother's house, sorting out my new pole.
A new pole, you say?
Yeah, putting clean caps in, putting all that kind of thing in, cutting my top kits back, all that, you know, all the usual shiz that needs to be done.
Did you put any flotation foam in it?
Stop it. What he is alluding to here is a little mishap actually on Friday at Tunnel Barn Farm Fisheries when I was reviewing the pole and testing it for Pole Fishing Magazine's April issue. And what happened is, I thought I'll be careful because it's windy, and so rather than having too much pole on the rollers, you know, ship back and the way it could maybe get into harm that way, I thought I'll just take the 14.5 metre section and the 16 metre section off and just lay them on my roost where it's nice and safe. No. The wind picked them up and took them into the lake. So there's me scooping around and like, get here, pulling it in. Got 16 metre section, got 13 metre section, 14.5 metre section. Oh no. Landing net. Pulled it in towards the bank. Luckily, I managed to get it against the ledge, the near ledge. I knew where it was roughly. But
it was sank.
You know, it was under me. I couldn't see it.
Right.
You know what it's like. You never know, do you? I'm thinking, I thought I knew where it was, but you can never be sure.
It's deep, eye pool and all, isn't it?
Oh, it's high up, isn't it? So it's deep.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mr. Wetton, Les Wetton, the venue bailiff, fishery manager, he came to the rescue in his wetsuit for me. Unfortunately, managed to retrieve it. But I have actually heard, Matt, that particular peg has got that, on that particular lake, has got some form with broken poles and lost poles. Now, look, I didn't break mine, of course, but unfortunately, Stuart Polster, who do the peg the following day on Saturday, Joe Carris was telling me, he managed to lose or break a section on there.
And a few weeks ago, I noticed Steve Ringer was on that lake, just on the bank to your left where you fished, and nearly all his pole blew in.
Bless him. So it must be something about the high pool with lost poles.
Yeah.
But anyway, fortunately, no harm was done. I got it back, but it did scar me a bit, which is why I didn't go fishing Saturday and spent the day doing my kit.
So, on to Sunday.
Sunday was a magnificent day, wasn't it? I really enjoyed Sunday.
You had a good day, didn't you?
It was the final round of the Census Sips League at Woodland View Fishery. And I fished with my Matrix Dynamite Trentman team, which was myself, Armour Joward, Lee Wright, James Wilson and Tom Potter. You fished with your Drennan Barnsley A team, which was...
myself, Alan Scawthorne, Lee Kerry, James Dent and...
Andy Powers.
Mr. Power.
And how was your day?
Well, I didn't have a very good day, Thomas. Going into this round, we're doing well as a team. We're second to Starlet's B team.
Yeah.
We needed a good result, and to be honest, I let the team down.
Oh.
I drew peg 9 on Ghost Pool, which is in a corner.
Yeah, that's the one that Cam Hughes won the Census Challenge off, isn't it?
They had him round of this a couple of years ago, and he won the match off it.
Yeah, I can't remember
£14.
Cam winning it, yeah. Real net quality. I bet you ran there, didn't you? You were quite happy with
Oh, mate, I absolutely ran there.
I
A lot of
imagine.
people was telling me before I'd catch sort of £300-400 of silverfish off the peg.
Well, I think that's slightly over confident, but I mean, I certainly, you'd have been disappointed to come away without winning the lake.
Yeah.
Which also would have been enough to win the match, probably, wouldn't it? But
Well, like I say, mate, I don't want to, dwell on this subject too much.
No. I mean, it's always difficult when you draw a very good peg and don't get the result, and nobody ever likes to dwell on it, do they?
No, nobody ever likes to dwell on it. Thomas,
How did you
they?
do, mate, off the very good peg that you drew on the lake?
I managed to beat one person in the section, which was the guy next to me.
Right.
Hey, but I enjoyed my day.
Did you?
To be honest, I got it wrong. I definitely got it wrong. It'd be easy to say, oh, a wrong end at peg section, stuck in a corner peg, but I don't think I did. I think I fished the wrong bait. I caught only small fish. I decided to feed a line long with chopped worms and joker and stuff for skimmers. Never caught anything there. I loose fed some pinkies a little bit short of it, and I caught lots of little tiny fish there, but they were really small. And I couldn't really see anyone else catching anything on the lake. So I sort of stuck at it for a couple of hours, and then an odd person started to catch an odd better fish from what I could see, but I couldn't really see a lot. And out of desperation I started throwing some casters even shorter, and the last sort of half an hour or so I caught a few bigger roach on it, but I definitely should have just fished casters a little bit further out, tried to pick out some bigger fish. Got it wrong. Definitely got it wrong.
I think you've been a little bit unkind on yourself as well, mate, because in my experience, when them carp and F1s are in a certain peg, there isn't always a great deal you can do to get rid of them, is there?
No, I did have 20 odd carp as well. But they were little ones. They were right buggers, because you'd hook them, fishing pinkies or whatever. I caught them everywhere, to be honest. But because they're only little, they don't fight like a big carp. So you think, oh, could be a skimmer, could be a big perch, could be a big roach. And then it pops up. I had some lovely ones. Little ghosties, little F1s. I had a little koi.
Isn't it a horrible feeling when you land one and you sort of cheer to yourself inside? Oh, I do anyway. When I'm at a £3 F1 in a match like that, I'm like, yes, but then it's like, no.
Doesn't count.
No, doesn't count. Back in the water.
But never mind. But like I said, only Sean Ashby won the section. Well done, Sean. With £14. There were two £11, and I had £10, and there were £7. Now, I think if I'd have done it right, or if Sean were on my peg, I'd have still caught £14. I definitely made a mistake, got it wrong. But you, sir, didn't get it wrong, did you?
I drew a good peg.
An absolute flyer.
An absolutely fantastic
scream.
peg. No, it was a reasonable peg.
That was a poor peg, mate, wasn't it?
It wasn't a poor peg.
Everybody said to me it was terrible.
No, it wasn't.
Honestly.
Terrible. Will you please be quiet? Otherwise, I will be phoning Cameron and getting him to tell you exactly what you did wrong on your peg on Ghost Pool.
Come on, tell him.
Yeah, I drew peg. I think it was 6 on front. Is it front deans or back deans? That one.
One of them.
Front deans. I think it was peg 6. And it was actually the peg that Alan Scawthorne drew in the pole fishing pairs, and he did enough to win the section off that peg. And I heard on the grapevine, i.e. this lad and Lee Kerry, who fed me some information, that he caught on pinkies. And so I decided that was going to be an element of my plan. I thought I should fish a nice positive line fed with leam and joker, to fish bunches of bloodworm over the top. I fed another line with one ball of leam and joker, just to, in case it was a bit hard, a bit more negative. And I put a few pinkies in on that line as well, with the plan being then, feel my way into it. If I felt that loose feeding were going to be nice, I can loose feed a few pinkies over it. And I also fed 2 lines, just loose feeding maggots close in down the edge, just in a little bit of a change line, where you can drop in and hopefully pick up a better quality fish. And the day got off to a nice start. I caught 2 or 3 nice skimmers in the early part of the match, over where I'd fed my 3 balls. But loose feeding on my 1 ball line, that was definitely where I was getting more bites.
Right.
So it soon became apparent that, again, loose feeding pinkies were going to be really good. I didn't catch loads of fish. It was quite tricky. It was dead interesting because there was obviously aerators at Woodland View, which caused the tow to move from left to right. And that meant that if I didn't lay my rig in to my left, like when I with my hook bait to my right and my rig to my left, and hold on to it till it got down, I literally didn't get a bite. It was
Interesting.
so weird. And another thing, if I missed a bite, or if I caught a fish and thought, oh, I'll rush and get back out with this pinky still on,
No.
didn't get another bite. Everything had to be done absolutely perfectly. It was such a strange day. But rewarding, I had to say. I think I had half a dozen skimmers in total, probably 50 to 60 roach, maybe a few more than that, but I don't count them, as you know. I always think, why count them when you can be catching them? So, yeah, it was really, really nice day's fishing. I ended up with £12.2 or £12.3, something like that, which was enough to win the section, which I was
You
very
were
happy
quite
with.
high up in the match. You'd be top 10 in the match with that as well,
I
wouldn't you?
think I was 6th or 7th in the match. But
Very nice.
You don't get anything for that, so we'll
No.
not talk about that. But yeah, it was. I was happy to win the section. The rest of the team had a reasonable day. Lee Wright won his section. He was second on the match. Armageld was third in his section. James Wilson was fourth in his section, and Tom Potter was fifth in his section.
Very nice.
So mixed team performance. We ended up with 14 points, which would have been, I think, third or fourth on the day, or fifth, something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Quite high up, weren't you?
Quite high up, but not high up enough. But your team did well.
We did well, Tom, but like I said, I think I let them down, you know.
Go on, talk us through it.
We ended up second in the league.
Yeah.
And I think it was by 1 point.
Were you second on the day as well?
I don't know. I can't remember
Right.
the overall. But the champions, big well done to them. Camasan Starlets BT, made
Awesome.
up of Scott Jeans, Nathan Hughes, Dan Ashington, Ed Warren, and the ever so good looking Matt Derry.
Well, I had a lovely day because I was next to Dan Ashington, and it's all right you're saying that Matt Derry's good looking, but me and Dan Ashington both agreed it's so unusual to get the two best looking anglers on a match drawn next to each other, and that's exactly what happened with me and him sat next to each other.
Really?
There. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I think one of the problems Dan had, I mean, Dan was on the end peg to my right. 4 or 5 times there were sort of 6 or 7 women stood along his right hand margin taking photographs of the two of us
Never.
as we were fishing.
I saw him removing the knickers from his roller at the end of the event.
So the poor lad can't really be blamed for struggling to catch, but because also ultimately the team won the league. So
Fantastic performance, boys. And a big thank you to Paul Dix for running the league
yes,
as well.
thank you,
Really
Paul.
enjoyed it.
Awesome league, and we're going to finish with a little interview with our good friend Andy Power, who actually won the match on the day, didn't he, off Arles?
We did. And thankfully we're in my team. And here he is.
Goodbye, folks. See you next week.
Toodle pip. I'm here with the match winner from the Census Challenge final round, Mr. Andy Powers. Well done, mate.
Cheers, mate.
And this is the peg you've been on, is it?
Yeah, 25 hours.
And what have you weighed and have you caught?
I was 18 pounds. I've had about 15 skimmers,
Right.
a big perch, and some roach,
Big wet perch.
nearly 2 pounds.
Ooh. And are you going to tell us how you've caught them?
I fed about 300 ml of joker at the start and left it alone long in some lean.
Right, what, 13 metres,
Yeah,
is it?
yeah. I've gone over it halfway through. I had a nice little run. Then slowed down. I've topped up again, and I've had a nice run again the last hour.
Yeah.
And I ran my perch and a few roach from caster short, and a few roach from bloodworm as well.
Very nice. How have you fed that caster line? Just loose feeding a few casters?
Just by hand, 6 metres. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. And what sort of, you say you've caught some skimmers, how big were that?
Mixture, a few about £1.5, a few 12 ounce, a few 6 ounce.
Very nice, lovely day's fishing. I'll tell you what's interesting, you say you didn't really catch on it till halfway through, or you left it alone till halfway through. Is that something you do a lot with this sort of fishing?
Yeah, just, well, for skimmers, just let them settle
Right.
over a bit of bait, and then you can plunder them then.
Brilliant. Nice little tip for you. Well done once again, mate.